Namaste.
Today's practice is going to involve or just demonstrate some things I've been experimenting with. And if you have a belt, especially a long belt, that's why I like these long, skinny ones because I can use them with the legs a lot. And what I have is every time I go visit my family in the States, I go to TJ Maxx and I look under their yoga exercise section to see what they have. And I found these resistance bands. They had like three different kinds in there. There's also this kind of resistant band or whatever it's called, and you could use that as well. The other thing you could do is you could use two belts if you have two belts, or you can try with a cloth or a towel or a scarf or anything that's got a little bit more length to it. Now, the reason I'm using these stretchy things, I'm trying to show you sort of the difference between a resistance stretchy thing versus a belt. Because sometimes in the practicalities of yoga, we get very rigid in our practice. And I'm just trying to show you that you can play with your practice. That's what this is about. Don't be afraid to experiment. Just keep yourself safe. I mean, that's sort of the bottom line, is just to do what you can. So I'm going to show you some, very active things with this. So let's begin. So just come into lying on your back, and we'll just do a few of those, bending the feet, and we'll use the belt first. Is put the belt on the balls of the feet, and then you just, will open the backs of the legs for a few breaths, just to notice what that's about. There's firmness when you use the belt, so you can really use your strength in your arms to open the backs of the leg, but really to press the lower spine onto the floor as well. Couple of breaths here. And then what happens if you begin to bend the knees in, place the feet on the floor, then inhale, lengthen the legs up. And of course, if you need them to be a little bit lower, that's okay too. Bend the knees in onto the floor. And inhale, bend the knees in, straighten up. Inhale the knees into the chest, bring the feet down. And inhale, straighten up. Exhale, bend the knees in, bring them down. So you probably feel you're working your arms a little bit more. And then the next time we come up to straightening the legs, we're going to see what happens when we hold the belt and start to lower the legs and then bring them back up. And when we do this, we do have to sort of slide down the belt a little bit with our hands. Bring them back up. And bringing the legs down. And you can hover them from the floor if you want to do that, and then bring it back up. And then if you have the resistance band or whatever else you're opting to use now, and I'll describe how the resistance band is different because it has stretch to it. Straighten the legs up. Probably you don't get the same level of stretch as you do from the belt. And now bend the knees in and bring the feet down. Bring the knees in, stretch the feet up. Inhale, bend the knees in, stretch the feet down. You may still start to get a little bit more action in the arms. So I don't ever like to say this is definitely what you're going to get, because everybody's body is different. But I can feel a little bit of a workout with this. And then I'll show you what I really enjoyed doing with this way was when you start to jamming my ring there. You're going to exhale the legs down. So see here, you got that stretch, and so then you can have the arms fully extended and not have to change your hand holding on the belt. So now exhale the legs down. Inhale up. Exhale the legs down. Inhale up. And exhale the legs down. You can hover them close to the floor. And then inhale up. And then bending the knees in. And probably you did feel a little bit about how you start to get some more arm work in there. And resistance work is and yoga has always used our body, so roll over to your side, as a little bit of resistance work in terms of strengthening. So it's like your own body is the weight. And just using this stretch band gives you a little bit more. So just come into all fours just to do a little cat and dog stretch. So just rounding the spine. And then inhale, looking up to the ceiling. Exhale, rounding the spine. Inhale, looking up. And since I said this was about the belt or the stretch band, okay, I'll bring the belt in. So something I like to do a lot with my belt is make it shoulder width and put it right there on those elbows. This is why some people have so many different kinds of belts, different lengths, because this is a long belt, so then you got extra tail. But it's also something that you can kind of support your arms and shoulders with when you put it here on the elbow tip. So we're going to inhale up, exhale down, inhale down the spine, exhale, other direction, inhale, and exhale. And then come to neutral spine and go into big toes together, knees wide. So then you can really press those elbows out into the belt, and perhaps you can feel more through your hands and how they connect into your shoulder blades. And then come back up to all fours. And something else I was playing with the belt, couldn't get this working with the resistance band, but take your belt on one foot and then you bring it over. How was I doing this? I was doing the opposite hand. That's right. So you can stretch the leg up. You can lengthen the leg long, holding that belt. And then you can, it slips down. There you go. Where'd it go? Ah, my foot. So this is where it's really nice when you have somebody to help you. But anyway, so you can get a nice stretch here between that foot and that elbow. And then bring that down and switch sides. So you bring the loop around the foot Bring the belt over to hold with the opposite hand. You press the same hand down. Keep it on your foot. And then extend that forward. And of course you can, depending on how long your belt is, or you can walk the hand up the belt and really get that stretch. And then release that. Come back to the wider belt for your elbows. Place it around your elbows. Place the hands down and come into downward facing dog. And again, you really can spread your elbows into the belt. Give yourself some space in the shoulders. And then come down to big toes together, knees wide. And inhale, come up in one more downward dog. Come into downward dog. And then walking the feet and the hands towards each other. And then slowly roll up. Now with this next pose, you can use the belt or the stretch resistance band, and I'll show you how to use the resistance band here. So I'll show you what I've been experimenting with the resistance band. So I like to roll it up a little bit. You can use a belt for this. It'll just be a different experience. So I'm going to bend into Utkatasana. My arms are in front of me. And then I can do some stretches out to the side. And you can experiment with this for yourself. And then I'm going to inhale, coming back up. My arms are overhead. I'm going to extend one arm down with one arm up, the other arm down, the other arm up. And then, arms overhead, I'm going to bend the elbows. And with the belt or with the stretch band, you can get really nice stretches through the shoulders this way. And then I'm going to inhale them up again. And I'm going to bring the arms down. And then I'm going to bring them forward. Go into Utkatasana, powerful pose. Inhale, come up. And inhale overhead. I'm going to stretch one arm down. Inhale up. The other arm down. Inhale up. Bending at both elbows. Stretching behind. Inhale up. Exhale, arms down. We'll do one more. I realized in the second one I forgot one of the moves. So inhale the arms straight out in front of you. Exhale into Utkatasana, powerful pose. Expand. Resistance band coming back. And of course in your own practice, you do it a few times if you like. And then inhale the arms overhead. I like to stretch one out and the other. You can also do it behind you. And bend at the elbows. Inhale up. Now bring the hands behind you. You can get there in whatever way works for you. And you can bring the resistance band a little tighter or a little bit wider, depends on what you need for the belt. And then we're going to go into Utkatasana, powerful pose. Then we're going to lift the arms up, and you can bring them down and up and get a little bit more range or stretch in the shoulders. And inhale, standing up. Just bring the arms down behind you. A couple of breaths here, and then we'll do that one again. Exhale into Utkatasana, powerful pose. Bring the arms up. Stretch out to the side, back in. Lift up. So whatever you are moved to do, you can do here. Give yourself a bit more stretch in the shoulders. And then inhale, coming up. And then we're going to do some poses with both the resistance band and the strap. So with the strap, and especially that it's long enough for standing poses, so I'm going to make it long enough. Now you got to be careful with the buckle. You don't really want that smushing into your leg. And I'm going to have one foot so the toes are turned in slightly, and the other foot, so it's going to come up to the opposite thigh. So it doesn't matter which side you put it on first, but just make sure that you bend the knee and see how supportive it is. It is going to loosen up in triangle pose. That's just how that's going to happen. We're going to do a little series that I've been playing with this. So you're going to inhale the arms up and then stretch the arms and come into triangle this way with the arms behind you. So the stretch resistance band is behind you. The belt will feel a little bit of loose around the thigh, but with the other poses you'll see it works better. And then you're going to inhale up. You can bring the arms closer together, and then you can stretch the opposite direction, so the back arm goes towards the back thigh, and then stretch the arms out and come in front of the leg. Couple of breaths there. Then again, inhale up, and you can bring the band closer together if you'd like to in the transitions. But you can then stretch through the sides here. And then the band comes behind you and you go into warrior two pose. Then again, inhale the arms up. So you're stretching also behind you, and bring the arms in front of you in warrior two. Through the stretch band or the resistance band. Bring the arms up, stretch through the side. Bands behind you, come into Parsvottanasana. Bring the band up, lean back, and go into Parsvottanasana with the arms in front. Then see if you can inch the back leg in and come into a version of Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, pressing the foot in the belt, stretching through the resistance band, couple of breaths, and bring that foot behind you, back into triangle, then inhale, come up, and change sides. So you can probably feel the heat that's building in this pose, in this sequence. And again, if it's too much, you can leave the arms out and just do the leg version. Or you can hold it a lot longer, or a lot longer, yeah. You can hold it less time. And then the other foot into the belt. So you really want to try to put it at the ball of the foot and not around the toes or the instep. It's kind of hard sometimes. And then bring the belt in. You know the sequence now for the other side. So we're going to come into triangle with the arms behind us to start with. A couple of breaths. And inhale, bring the arm up. And then exhale in front. Inhale the arm up again. And then going into warrior two with the arm, with the stretch band behind you. Inhale that arm up, keeping the bend in the thigh. Bring the band in front. Inhale the arms up, come behind again, go into Parsvottanasana. Come back up again. Bring the arms in front of you. And then bring the back foot in. Try to go into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. And bring that foot back into triangle. And inhale, coming up. Just have a few breaths in Tadasana, but just hold your props there for a minute, because we have another little sequence that I'll show you with some other standing poses. A couple of breaths. And now we're going to pivot on the mat. So again, we're stepping one leg through the belt and the back foot has the foot on the belt. So we're going to bend the front leg into warrior one or lunge warrior pose. I really like this for the stretch through the arms. And then you're going to slowly bring the arms forward, inch the foot in, come into warrior three. A little close to my screen there. And bring that back foot and come back into warrior one. You can either have the foot totally down or you can have the ball of the foot up. And then again, inch forward into warrior three. And bring that foot down, coming back into warrior one. And we'll do one more. Leaning forward, bringing that back foot in into warrior three. Bringing the foot back into warrior one. And then slowly come up. Bring that foot in. And I'll stay on the same side, but you know, you can change sides if that's easier for you. But you will change the belt. So the other foot comes in onto the belt, and then it's around your thigh. So again, we'll inhale the arms up, bend into warrior one. And I like this stretch through the shoulders. Then lean forward. Come into warrior three. Bring the back foot down. Come into warrior one. And then coming forward with over the thigh, the back leg into warrior one. Three. Bring the back foot back into warrior one. One more. Warrior three. Bring that foot back. And bring that foot back into warrior one. And then inhale, coming up. Bring the feet parallel back into Tadasana and just stand for a few breaths. Slow down the heart rate and the breathing. And just notice what you notice in the body. I have quite a bit of heart rate going. And then come down to your mat. I think we've done this with the belt before, but we'll try it with both things. So if you make your, I think your strap's fine where it is. You can make it a little bit bigger, but you're gonna put it around the back of your feet. I'll probably make it a little bit bigger. So you can come onto your belly. And you bring the hands in so you can get a little bit of a stretch into bow pose this way. And then slowly come down. And if you only have the belt, you can do more of that. But if you bring it down to your feet, then what happens when you put it behind one foot and see what happens when you do that. You can do that with your belt as well. You can try one foot and then the other. And there's just something nice about being able to stretch your shoulders and also your legs. And so we're sort of getting a front body stretch. So to put a little completion to this, go back to the belt, and you can make it a little bigger, a little smaller, depending on what your what feels good for your body. And do one more bow. And then come down and roll on your back. And again, you can use your belt or you can use your resistance band, and you can come into happy baby, really pressing those thighs towards the ground. So it might look like I have the belt here around my waist, and I might pull the legs down. And then you can go into the traditional of just holding the feet. And just stay here for a few breaths. Rock a little bit side to side. And then coming into Shavasana, or feet up the wall, or feet on the chair. Whatever's going to work for your body right now. Slowly begin to soften your breathing. Perhaps you're feeling a little bit more of a workout in the arms or the legs or the core. And starting with your left toe, see if you can soften toes, foot, ankle, shin, knee, into the thigh socket. And then with your right toe, see if you can soften the right toes, the foot, the instep, the ankle, the shin, the knee, upper thigh, into that thigh socket. So now both your legs are relaxed. Softening the left hand, fingers, hand, wrists, forearm, elbow, upper arm, into that left shoulder blade, left shoulder. See if you can soften your right fingertips, hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder. So both of your hands from your fingers into your shoulder are relaxed. Softening the collarbone notches, throat, back of the neck soften, base of the head soften, scalp soften, forehead widens and softens. Temples are soft. Eyeballs rest into the eye socket. Cheeks are softening. Your jaw softens and your chin softens. Whole body is relaxed. And slowly begin to reawaken your body, your fingers, your toes, stretching through your feet, hands. And you want to slowly roll to your right side and come up to sitting. And remember that your practice is your practice. You can play with your practice, experiment, see what works for you. I'm just happy to give you some ideas and you can take them further. Thanks for coming and namaste.